Confederate Railroad. If you remember these guys, you know they can be just a tad rowdy. Confederate Railroad is well known in outlaw country music circles as the backup band for such icons as David Allan Coe and Johnny Paycheck, as well as the all-time legend George Jones. As a touring and recording act since 1987, they had a string of hit records in their regular airplay, and some are still on the air after 40 years and more.
That's right.
Danny Shirley has joined the chat.
Thank you.
Rusty, thanks a lot. Buddy, we're tickled to death you came back to see us this year.
Man, I had a great time. I think I had more fun this year than I did last year. And last year was our first time here. And, it's always feels good when they invite you back. I have liked what you did the year before. But I think I enjoyed this year more than last year.
I have been coming to this venue for a very long time. These people are like my family.
Well, you're older than dirt.
Yeah, I'm older than you.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah, you said you were almost 70.
I'll be 68 this year. So
I'll be 70 in about 2 months.
Okay, yeah, we're right there together.
I got you. You're a kid.
It went by quick, didn't it?
It did, man. But, I wouldn't trade the 70s back from my 70s. I'm having more fun now than I ever had.
I like it, but, man, what I'd give to go back and do the 70s again.
Yeah, you may have a point.
I've done, people say, I wouldn't do nothing different. I do a whole lot of things different. I've done a whole lot different.
What was your favorite YouTube memory from the 70s? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, gosh. No, it was just growing up, just the innocence,
Yeah.
And you're looking forward to the future, looking forward to what was going to happen in your life and everything. And I've had some great things happen. I can't complain about that. I miss it's just different then. We didn't have cell phones, we didn't have the internet. There was more one-on-one contact with people, face-to-face stuff. You didn't have these people that get on their keyboards and be tough. And, back then, you got to back up what you said.
You're right. And you said it, the one-on-one. There's people in their basement that can do things that you're never going to see what they look like.
My kids don't have that, don't understand what it was like then as far as dealing with things face-to-face with people. Well, I kind of miss that.
I'm right there with you.
I don't know that I would want to go back to those days, but I'd like to relive them, knowing that there were other days coming.
I think that's why all those old junk cars, they pull up something that's more rusted in his car and get it running, and people will pay thousands of dollars for it. And I'm the hook just like everyone else.
I guess it's just nostalgia. You just remember these things of when you were younger, and just a different world. But I'm happy now. I've had a great life. I have absolutely nothing to complain about. Just about anything that went wrong in my life was my own screw ups. So I have nobody to blame but me.
Preach on,
brother. It's a good life. I'm a happy man.
Well, Confederate Railroad is by far and above my favorite group that does what you do. They have different niches, but there's a show on one of our radio stations called The Outlaw Hours. We talked about it last year. My favorite Confederate Railroad song is Notorious, which was never released as a single, and I still love that song.
We talked about that possibly being a single, and there was a rumor going around that if that had been a single, they were going to do one of those. They were interested in doing one of those movie of the weeks based on that song.
That'd be great.
And the two characters are going to be me and Tanya Tucker.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So that would have been fun, because me and Tanya were good friends.
Rusty and I were talking about Luke Combs and the 2 Dozen Roses thing with Marty Raven. I talked to Marty right before I talked to you last year, and he came back with the #1 record. I could see who's the one that Luke Combs was the one with 2 Dozen Roses, but the one with Lainey Wilson that does
Hardy.
Yeah, Hardy.
Yeah.
You could get Hardy and Confederate Railroad and maybe some of those guys, Thomas, and get them to do a version of Notorious with you.
That'd be cool.
And there'd be your next #1 record.
That would be fun. A lot of those guys you're talking about, it's been real cool. I remember when I met Waylon, and I said, you're the reason I want to do this for a living. And Jason Aldean came to me years ago. Me and Charlie Daniels used to do a big benefit down in Tampa every year. Did it for 22 years together. And it would be me and him every year. Then we'd have other artists, like 3 or 4 a year, come in with us. And one year Jason was there. And it was so funny. The radio girl comes backstage and she says, Jason Aldean would like to say hello to you if you got a minute. And I said, yeah, bring him back. So he comes back and he's real cool. And then he says, man, I got to tell you, he said, when I was a kid, he said, you'd play my hometown every year at a big bar there in Macon.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but we played there like every February. And he said, me and my buddies were too young to get in, and we'd stand outside the back door every year. So whether it was raining, snowing, whatever, we sat behind that back door because such big fans. And then I met Luke Bryan. We were doing a Toby Keith show together years ago. And he said, if you only knew how many times I've been sitting on a riverbank fishing, listening to Confederate Railroad CDs.
Yep.
You know, and it's real cool to have it turn like that. You know, when I was going to my heroes saying, you know, man, this is great. I'm thrilled to meet you. And to have younger guys come up.
It's a little
really
weird
cool
to me to be other people's heroes, but I totally understand how they feel because that's how I am about Danny Shirley and Confederate Railroad. You know, you accomplished something that so few people ever can do, and you did it your own way. You're proud of being a Southern man, and that is so
that's
unusual in some places now.
And, you know, we actually, some of these new guys won't work with me because of that, because the name.
They're lost.
And I won't say names or anything, but we had a show coming up this summer, and the headliner heard that we were opening, and he says, no, I want to work with a band called Confederate Railroad. So I go, okay.
Well,
so we left him and went out with Darryl Worley on a couple of shows. So it's all right.
Last year, when you and I talked, standing there was my adopted son, Chili Dawg Michael Castleberry. He has since become a Lucky Dog guitar representative. I understand you're best friends with Anthony. And he would be tickled to death to collaborate with Confederate Railroad.
Well, that's very cool, man. Good for Anthony. I remember when he was first starting out, he played music there in Chattanooga, actually Cleveland, Tennessee, where I was living. And he had a little bar. And I don't think they served liquor. I think it's like a dance hall. And they called it the Plowboy Mansion.
I've heard of that.
You remember the Plowboy Mansion? And we did a photo shoot there one time. And that was about half a mile from my house.
Yeah.
And he's done really, really good, though, with those Lucky Dog guitars.
He's been extremely good to Michael, to Chili Dog. That Randy Hauser is a friend of his from Key West, and Randy named him Chili Dog because his last name's Castleberry. Okay. And apparently there's Castleberry's chili. I've never seen
I don't know.
Anyway, I know you've had a long tour and you're ready to go home, and I want to let you get out of here, but I'm tickled to death you spent this time with us.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
And it's always an honor to be with you. I would look forward to seeing you next year.
Hope they'll have us back.
All right, we'll get you out. Now, Clay owes me some favors. We'll talk him into it. Danny Shirley, guys, Confederate Railroad.
For decades, Confederate Railroad has been entertaining fans with their unique blend of country, rock, and blues, but their journey has not been without its challenges. The band faced numerous setbacks, including personal struggles and industry obstacles, including a well-reported spat with a couple of blue state governors over the years. Danny joked from the stage as well as in our conversation that they don't usually get invited back after one show, but there they were in Kentucky Opera just barely over a year later, sold out again. These guys are all about the energy, and when he hit the stage, the crowd knew what they were there for. Confederate Railroad was back, and they're expected to return in 2025 for another sold-out tour. Booking links are in the description. Let us know in the comments if you have a favorite Confederate Railroad song, and watch out, they might be coming to your favorite venues twice or more.